Hi guys, in today's video I wanted to give you guys a real live video on something someone asked me that is super important, and they asked me, how did I get Kai to read before he was 3 years old? So let me preface this by saying all children are not the same. Kai is super smart, both on his own and genetically. And these tools or these tips definitely gave him a head start as far as education and reading is concerned. I am going over these tips because Kai is about to go to kindergarten. Milani will be home. I'm going to use these tips also to get Milani to read. I should have been doing this, but I feel like I couldn't concentrate with both of them at the same time. Kai, first of all, didn't have a tablet until he was 3.5 years old. For Christmas, after his 3rd birthday, we got him a tablet, and I feel like that was a big part of Kai development from 1 to 3. He didn't have any devices, and a majority of the things that he would watch on television, I would go through those things, make sure they're educational and make sure they're in line with what I want him to learn. I'll leave some playlists of some of the things that I use with Kai in the description box and here on YouTube, and all the things that I watched also with him. And another thing, a lot of Kai's toys from 1 to 3 years old, they were mostly educational. Yes, he would get his dinosaurs or his cars or whatever else niche toys that he would like, but majority of his other toys were learning toys. So they would say ABC, they would say his vowels, they would be some form of education. Morning, the first 30 minutes to an hour, I would dedicate with him with his letters. So I had cards that have specific letters and specific words on there. I started him out with letters, so A, B, C, D, and those have flashcards. You can also get them from Amazon, you can get them from the dollar store, whichever one. They all do the same thing to me. After I got him his ABCs and he knew them down pack.
Apple.
Yep.
Apple. Apple.
Apple.
B.
Let me see it. Yep. Bear.
Hot. Hot.
Yes, Papa.
Hot. Hot. Hot.
What about this one? I. That's L. Lion. What about this one? What about this one, Tata?
J.
J for Jax. I also made sure he knew his sounds of every letter. After that, we went into vowels. So A, E, I, O, U, sounding out those, how they sound when they're paired with other words, and that was the next step. After the vowels, then I went on to sight words. What's that one?
Yo.
Okay. How about this one?
There. Use.
What about this?
Use.
Good job.
There. Use.
How about this?
Can.
What's the other side say?
Said.
Good job. How about this one?
Has.
How about the back?
Look.
Good job.
Also, with his letters and his sight words, I would quiz him, and I would quiz him randomly. So he wouldn't know when I would do it. I would just be randomly go take his cards out, or if I feel like he have no direction or he's just playing or making a whole bunch of noise, I will just get his cards and quiz him, whether that be on his letters, his vowels, or his sight words randomly based on and then I went on to sight words, and then based on Kai's age is how I would do his sight words. So if Kai was 2 years old at the time, I would only give him sight words that have 2 to 3 letters in there. So he, him, her, it, the, is, and that's how I would do his sight words. I would never give him something that I feel like he couldn't master before the time, because all that's going to do is frustrate them and make them angry. So I did his sight words like that for a reason. Once he mastered sight words that were like 2 and 3 letters, then I got him over to 3 and 4 letters and 5 and 6 letters. That's how I started him out with reading. Another big part of our schedule was going on walks or going to the beach or taking him to the park. When I would do those things, I would take his books or his flashcards with me, and if he's at the park and he's bored and he want to sit or eat, I would pull out the cards and we will go through them or do a quick little game with the cards. And that was also a major way in getting him to be in different environments and learn. I feel like when they're stuck in one environment, it kind of becomes redundant and they kind of becomes bored. So that is a very good tip as far as getting them to interact and stay focused. You have to switch up the environment. And also I would dedicate the first portion of his day to simply reading cards, sight words, vowels, all of that. The first 30 minutes to an hour is what I would dedicate. Also, not only that, I would take Kai to like the park and we would see like the word park there, and I would ask Kai to spell what he saw. So he would say like P-A-R-K, and then I would tell him to sound out each letter in the word, and then I would take my time and spell out the word, which was also another way of having him learn outside a format of school, outside the settings of home, outside the settings of me just trying to teach him something and him being bored. Kai and Milani, one and the same, they have a very hard time winding down. Very hard time. So even if I read them books and stuff, you can read them a bedtime story and 3, 4, 5, and they'll probably not go to sleep. They have a hard time winding down. I would try to read bedtime stories to them, but having the light on with them and trying to put them to sleep was not working. So I'll read something to them, and if they didn't want to go to sleep, I'll keep the lights on, or if I really wanted them to go to sleep, I would turn the light off and just talk. So interacting with them, talking to them was another big part of having Kai learn to read.
He must be really tired because it's the first time he has ever gone into his bed without me telling him it's time for bed.
Also, as far as tablets and screen time and all of that is concerned, Kai's screen time was very, very minimal, and I used to close his screens on what I want him to watch. So after a while, kids get accustomed to tablets and they know that if they click this or they click that, they can skip to something else. I downloaded an app on his tablet where I could close his tablet, and majority of what he was watching was anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour, and it would just stay on that thing. It would not move no matter how he clicked the screen, which was another way I monitored his screen time when he actually got a tablet. And then as Kai got older, his dad actually bought him a whiteboard.
I can't hear very
7, 8.
So he write on the board, and he would write on the board of what he want, and we would help him spell each word. So we would be like, okay Kai, what do you want? Do you want something to drink? Do you want something to eat? And then he would say eat, and we would tell him, okay, this is how you spell eat, and he would write E-A-T on the board. And if he wants something to drink, we would write or help him write D-R-I-N-K. And that's how we also got Kai to talk. If you guys don't know, Kai was having a issue talking, so he was reading before he was talking in sentences. And when we took him to the pediatrician, his pediatrician literally told us we are expecting too much of him for his age, just because he could read way above his grade level. And the problem with that is kids are only supposed to be saying 1 to 2 words when they're like 2, and when they're 3 they're supposed to be saying 1 to 3 words. We were expecting Kai to have full-blown sentences because he could read in full-blown sentences, but that is not the case. And that's also something to be mindful of when you are trying to teach your children to read. If they're 1, they're only going to say 1 word. If they're 2, they're going to say 2 words. If they're 3 words, 4 words and up. So be mindful of that when you're trying to get your children to read, and know where they're at mentally and what their targets are for their age group. So when I decided I wanted to have kids, I wanted to make sure that my kids was not mediocre, they were above average. And also I feel like it has a lot to do with genetically. His dad is super smart, I'm super smart. So I wanted to make sure they had a leg up as far as the educational system is concerned, and put them in a position to win from early. So if you're a parent and you want your kids to win, I feel like this is something you have to dedicate to.
Mommy, what's that?
How about this?
From.
Good job. What's this one?
Or.
Good job.
No. No.
Melanie, it's not yours. Stop fighting your brother. What's about this one? What's the back? Them and then them.
It's them and then.
Melanie.
Time and effort too. So yeah, I also need to recommend a few apps.
Don't ask me how I did it, I just did it. It was hard.
So while the first 3 years, I feel like you don't need to give them a lot of apps and a lot of things. I feel like YouTube Kids, Khan Academy, 1XL, and Sago Mini School are the 4 apps, or if you're going to give your child a tablet, is what I recommend if you want to focus on education. These apps are going to help your kids with reading, writing, science, whatever you could dream of or think of. Those 4 apps are going to help your children. One thing I will say with YouTube Kids, be very mindful of what they're watching, because 1 minute on YouTube Kids they're watching something kids and then the next minute is something inappropriate. So keep a close eye to what they're watching on YouTube Kids, because a lot of the things that they are registered as kids friendly on YouTube Kids are not really kids friendly and not really things that I would recommend my child to have, especially from age 1 to 3. So yes, those are my tips, those are my tricks. Kai is going to kindergarten and I am about to go on this journey of having Milani read also within the next 3 to 6 months. Milani is about to be 4. I feel like I dropped the ball a little bit with Milani because I heard how kids should have fun and just live their life and not focus so much on education and all this stuff. And I feel like I definitely dropped the ball with Milani. Milani should have definitely been reading already, but I feel like since Kai is going to school, I have more time to dedicate with Milani as far as reading, writing, and educational stuff is concerned. So I'm going to give you guys updates of what I am doing with Milani and taking you guys through the process of me trying to get Milani to learn to read, write, say her numbers in the next 3 to 6 months. So with that being said, I'm going to stop talking. Those are my tips and tricks, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.